Nah, I'll just wait. YouTube, you're going to be late. Sorry.
Damn.
Oh, wait. Nope, it came on as soon as I started fucking talking about it.
Dang.
Yeah, that's wild. That is wild. Now, will it get our feed? Yep, there it is. YouTube is up. All right. Cool.
Here we go.
All we had to do was talk shit about it and say, hey, we're not going to be using it. It said, oh, you're going to be using us today.
Dang. Bandwidth.
All right. T, we are at episode 11. We've went past the 10 mark. So that means that's 20 weeks technically. That's like at minimum 20 weeks of doing a podcast, man. How does it feel?
I can't feel anything.
Yeah, man. you need to stop you need to stop pre-gaming for the podcast.
I drank some Spike It earlier and woo!
Yo, I can't even imagine what happens if Spike gets digested at a normal level. Even a sip.
You ascend into a different plane of existence.
I can only imagine. Imagine. Ugh.
Woo!
All right. Well,
Bring diapers.
Spoiler alert. You said you didn't get out this weekend, right?
Hell no, it was straight thunder and lightning and kids were throwing up and I was like, man, this ain't gonna work. So I went ahead and just parked it and watched other folks enjoy the nature. There's a lot of storms in the world recently. I don't know, it's that transition into the hotter weather and moist air, and I think it's an El Nino or a La Nina year. Anyways.
Yeah, we're definitely due for a bad tropical sooner than later.
I'll say that out loud. Yeah, no, there's a bunch of fronts, man. I know some of our New England folks have been getting hit a lot, and the Midwest folks have been, well, they're always dealing with stuff. So, yeah, I didn't get out. I don't even know if I'm gonna get out this weekend, so I'm starting to cry inside.
Oh,
but that's what the Spike is for.
That spiking ain't gonna help, bro. It's gonna mask. That's gonna mask the hurt.
So you already got an event lined up?
Dog, I'm podcasting. You can't be here. Come on. Yeah. So last week was
you were taking a break.
No, it was the break is over. We're in it. that was that.
Done.
It was a 2 week. It was a really good breath of fresh air of trying not to fish, but I did fish a little bit, and then we went right into the Native No Limit last weekend. This weekend's going to be Tuckertown. And I think we have, it might be one more after that, but if not, there's going to be another 2 week break into July. So it should be, I should get another clean slate of not fishing. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, this weekend I missed my window to practice, so I can't go and practice. So I'm probably going to go sit at the High Rock Dam that goes into Tuckertown and test my luck in the current right there near the launch and see what those fish are doing.
So the body of water is called Tuckertown?
Yeah, it's part of the Yatkin River chain, so I think it's like High Rock, Tuckertown, Tillery, then Baton, or Baton then Tillery. But yeah, there's four body of waters that follow this river system that goes south into South Carolina.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah, Baton then Tillery. There you go.
Yeah. So you're just gonna wing it? Hell yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I was winging it for the Native No Limit, and my strategy didn't work in the morning, but worked in the afternoon. So the strategy worked.
How's Tony the carp doing?
Fuck that carp.
Okay.
No. Yeah, that dude kept jumping. He kept like every time I would hear a splash, because like at Norman, especially like right now, they school so hard in the middle of nowhere. So I had to keep my head on a swivel. Every time I heard like a splash, I look back and sure enough, it's just one splash. I'm like, it's that fucking carp. It's Tony again.
That's what he does.
It had to be that carp. There's another small one between them two. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, however, whichever works. But so yeah, our tournament's on Tuckertown, and I've done pretty well up there at the dam. So hopefully that the water's not low, and if it's at level or above level, yeah, they should be sitting there. If the water is running, it should be really easy to catch fish. But we'll see.
Dang. Okay, and this is going live potentially?
Yeah, I was thoroughly ecstatic for Norman. I actually had connection the whole time. Yeah, Junkie, the dam up north doesn't have any of that because it has moving water. Everything in the actual lake, it has low low current, so it holds on to a whole bunch of just snot grass, witch's hair, and stays dirty for most of the day. But
Just like me.
but shit, what was the question? I forgot. I got distracted.
There was no question. It's
Oh.
destiny.
Yep.
No,
But yeah.
okay, so you got good reception on Norman.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. So Norman,
Tuckertown.
we'll see. It's further west. Norman is right in epicenter near near Charlotte, so the service was working. Tuckertown, it might work, it might not. I don't know how reception near dams kind of work. I would think that they would kind of have a Faraday type of system near there, so no invasions, no catastrophic things can happen.
Oh, we got security clearances on the dam. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that would be crazy, but we'll see. I'll try, see what it looks like. If not, then yeah, there won't be one. I'll record it and then bring you guys in for the recording on a stream of some sort.
Do a play-by-play commentary.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Dang.
You got anything planned for this weekend other than the wait in the storm? You working on? You got any news back from the boat?
Man, I sent a message to the dude last week, and he ain't even got to it yet.
Oh.
So said he was hoping for early this week, and it's mid this week.
Yep.
I haven't gotten any updates.
He probably like me.
I am getting a little concerned that I know I don't have the cover on it because it's behind me, and he doesn't have a shop. Yeah, it's just outdoors, and it's been raining. And the thing about old boats, for those that don't know, is any level of like water tightness. I mean, the carpet can get, it can get rained on. The problem is it gets into the compartments, and I've got spots that have exposed wood from where the carpet no longer ceases to exist, or no longer exists. It ceases to exist. So, we're talking like 20, 23, 24-year-old wood and shitty carpet, and so I'm just hoping
Exposed to the elements.
Like 85,
5,
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Probably gonna
sweating.
have a nice mold spore. So if anybody needs some mold spores on the East Coast, I'm gonna have a lot of them pretty soon on my hands.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Trying to get out of like work for a week.
I got a sniffer.
Just let me know.
Try to get out of work for a week. You got a good sniffer.
Get you a weave and chase it with some damn spike it, dog. You're not gonna be worried about clocking in anytime soon. Mosquitoes in the garage. What is this? Okay. Yeah. So I'm not gonna bug him because that's the thing, right? When somebody is good at what they do, and word gets out, then they technically are in pretty high demand.
Yep.
But it is what it is, and my damn car's trying to give me some issues too, so maybe that'll give me a shot to fix that before I try to tow anything. So it's just bad luck, but that's all right. Each day's a gift. That's why they call it the present. So we're gonna just keep it moving. But if I get out, and we'll get it maybe later, but I've got some things I've been working on. I've been spending a lot of time trying to get some different priorities, maybe is the word we can use.
Gotcha.
So we'll get into that maybe. I don't know. We'll see how the spike it hits me. But I've been doing some gear shifting. Let's just call it that, gear shifting.
I like it.
And I'm not even using the clutch, dog. We're just slamming it.
Okay.
Straight gears. We're talking problems.
Sequential gear box, just slamming it forward and back.
Brother, oh my God, it's all sequential. It's not even, ain't no H pattern. Don't worry about that, y'all.
Well, congrats on the popper in pursuit. I thought that was a very good idea, and it looked
You
really.
digging that stuff?
I was thoroughly impressed with the ingenuity and thought process behind it, and I was thoroughly ecstatic when the fish actually got the hooks, not just slapped it.
Bro, I'm telling you, that place is Helen Keller Fish Central, man. They're just aiming for the shockwaves, dog, because they sure as hell ain't looking for nothing.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it,
grow up.
definitely go check out T's YouTube. If you missed the stream, of course, yeah, he mastermind cookups, mastermind.
I'm just saying, I've got something, and I'm actually looking at it. It's right next to me. I took it a step further with a different style lure. I'm not going to go into it, and I'm gonna wait till I get the boat back. When I get the boat back, we're gonna be innovating the game way beyond anybody's aspirations or
What's up, Liz?
aspirations. So yeah, that's the problem. When I don't get out for a weekend, I have to sit in the garage. I poured some jigs and painted some jigs. I just started cooking up shit. So
nice.
you cannot let me sit around unsupervised at a bench full of tackle, because things start to get problematic a lot quicker than they should.
Nice. Yeah.
Hell yeah. But that begs the question: what have you become post-pandemic?
Oh man, that. If y'all didn't know, T was like, "Yo, that's a deep ass title." I was like, "Yeah, it's a good title." So just to throw it out there for everybody, this is pretty much an interactive conversation. If there's things you've noticed about your fishing, your fishing digest, how you're consuming content, information, what has changed since we've got hit with that pandemic. So I'll definitely kick it off. So pretty much, pandemic got me into the kayak. That's what I've become a kayak angler. I've always been a competitive angler, so tournament wise, it was only natural. But what I really take away from the pandemic and that time is I now found a way other than playing games to find peace for my headspace. It was I think it's helped me in that situation, even though it was more so as a coping mechanism, but it led into more of a therapeutic situation for me in my brain and a lot of stuff I was doing. But that's my biggest takeaway. Other than that, I've become my algorithm on both of my YouTube accounts will show I am a consumer of fishing information, fishing tackle, fishing memes. Like I was never this greedy for fishing content. I've become a hoarder or a glutton for consuming fishing content. It is normally I have to watch at least 2 hours of fishing content for my day to be complete, in my opinion. Either that be on, shorts, if it be YouTube videos, if it be streams. There has to be fishing content in my day to day for it to seem like a normal day, and that was never a situation before the pandemic. It was always a little bit of fishing, watch a couple of streams, and watch gaming pretty much all day. I still can watch gaming for most of the day, or I'll have something up, but if we're talking engagement rate, it's always going to be fishing at this point. So pandemic has turned me into a fishing content monger. I would say, and I want to say it's been for the good, because you can't really see too much bad fishing content. Not taking away these last 2 years. These last, like, from the pandemic till now, there's been some things, but I will say as a majority, it was pretty good. It was pretty calm and collected. But these last 2 or 3 years, the forward facing sonar, the weights and fish, the Scott Martin stuff, like, we can definitely see a turning to Randy Blockett. Literally, Blockett turned his content from making stuff, tips on the water, to I don't like that dang computer you got in your boat. So I will say, taking those out of the conversation, everything prior to that, it's been blooming. It's been blooming and booming.
So, what kind of content do you find yourself most at home with when it comes to regular
Oof.
watching or themes, or what's the stuff that doesn't burn you out?
Watching fishing tournaments.
Oh,
Watching tournaments, either it be Midwest, West Coast, South, Canadian, Northeast. Watching people understand how to fish, like listening to the thought process of why they are where they are, doing what they're doing, thinking what they're thinking. Those always keep my mind like, oh, I can see what he's doing here. Oh, I see why he thought this would work. Oh, the conditions match what he's throwing, and it helps me think of a whole bunch of it helps me keep my mind tuned in to what I'm doing and if I'm doing it right or if I'm doing it wrong based off of how other people are making their decisions when they're on the water. So like almost like a apples to apples comparison, trying to figure out where we have a intersection or a I forgot where you have the two circles cross each other. But yeah. And then after that it goes downhill. Goes just memes and just fishing nonsense.
so if there's not money on the line, it ain't worth your time.
I didn't say all that. I still.
Well,
I mean,
heard it.
the algorithm will like my algorithm will show you it's just fishing. It has no discrimination on the content of fishing. It's just what I look for. If I have to pick something, it's normally going to be a tournament. But yeah, I will watch pretty much anything that hops up there that's fishing.
Is it fair to conclude that there was a significant uptick in content creator, not just population, but in terms of intensity between like compared to like 2018 to 2020 and then like mid 2020 to like 2023? Do we feel like there was a surge
Oh
as a
man,
result of all the different social health?
I mean,
We know the answer, but I'm
yeah.
saying it out loud so we can all at least look at it. But
Yeah, I would hope everybody understands that we hit a very good boom, and then we plateaued, and a lot of things changed once we plateaued. So the fall off or the uprising of newer faces and things like that, that's natural. I wholeheartedly I'm hoping that that's understandably noticed by content consumers. But yeah, most definitely we hit a fishing renaissance very well. We had it was probably like a 6-year run, like you said. 2018 pandemic hit, we hit our high. 2021 to 2023, we definitely hit a flat line, and then now we're starting to see that slow decline, and everybody who reaped benefits from it, or shit. I mean, look at the Googans. I think they give you the best highs and lows of the fishing industry, and at a easier level to digest. You saw them starting to climb in the early or the late 2017. They pretty much maxed out 2021, and then we're at that plateau 2021 into 2023, and then you start seeing trickles of content creators in that group just fall off. Either it be their content, their way of getting content out, their timing of content, their content focus, and then you start seeing another decline of them just literally falling off of the group. And I think that really speaks volumes to how the industry worked, where you saw like how Yamamoto gets bought out, Johnson Fishing Group then becoming a high-end grab for like a lot of stuff. Yeah, it was definitely crazy. Yeah, John B is still definitely doing his thing, but you can see that his upload speeds have slowed down. His content is not as over the top as it used to be. So you can see that
he's got a kid now too, right?
I don't know about the personals, but you
Let's
can
call him.
let's call him. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, Liz even said he's a family guy now. But yeah, I know he
Peter
just
Griffin.
he just did that. He just did the collab with Bonafide for their kayaks. I think that was somewhere in Texas. So we'll see. I mean, I'm just saying as a whole what we've seen. Damn. So yes, he's going to be a dad of two. That's dope. Congrats. I have not been following him. I did see that Lunkers just became either a state trooper or a police officer. So I have some kind of recollection of stuff happening in that club. But as far as like consuming and how we saw like the fishing industry in those that renaissance has definitely shaped the way that we how content, especially fishing content, is pushed. The new norms for, like you were saying, it every professional angler now has to have some type of social media presence. That pre-pandemic they didn't need that. The only ones that were doing it were the ones that were sociable enough to really run it. And now every pro angler has to have some sort of presence on the internet. So, and I mean that means more exposure for us to see them. So that's also some. We're here talking about some guy who's fishing on YouTube in his life. That's what we've become post pandemic. He's definitely shaped what we see for the fishing content as a brand on the internet. Like, it's crazy. But what about you? What do you think you've become post pandemic?
All right. I think it's more. I mean, you got to appreciate the fact that, in my opinion, let's go ahead and clarify it. I think there's, and I'll include myself in the population of folks that really got to the point, like the market side of things, so the consumerism side, the retail side, because it is big. It's big business, man. It has to be like billion-dollar industries for these damn fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when all of the panic was going on and the big corporations were buying the smaller companies and kind of just gobbling them up, basically saying, hey, you're going to go out of business, so you might as well sell, and then like all the different things. I'm not a big fan of Milliken, but he did put out a video about expressing, he had like a whiteboard behind him and everything. It was kind of interesting, like talking about the business side of things and how the monumental shifts in the industry kind of were unavoidable for a lot of the entities that absolutely would not have survived otherwise.
Yep.
And then, once it starts turning into that factor, like people, myself, got frustrated because I had just started doing the kayak thing in 2018, 2019, so right before shit hit the fan.
Yep.
And I bought the yellowfin that I still have, actually on July 4th of 2020, so it's almost been 5 years since I've owned it. And the price, like, I got the whole package for $800. Now it's $1,000 just to get the boat and the seat. Everything's going up, we know this. But Dick's Sporting Goods salesman I had to drive an hour and a half to go to a dealer to, you know what I mean? Like, things are spread, so you get more, you get more stores are filling it up. And I think a lot of folks got pissed because there's only a certain amount of things that they could do.
Yep.
And outdoors activities was really where it was at, especially for folks that are used to getting outdoors and doing things. So, their hobbies and the things that they find the enjoyment in were, they were stressed out. People were losing employment pretty readily. Obviously the health issues and taking care of your people in your community and all that kind of stuff. So like priorities shifted, right? So you get that big wave of bullshit and you come back down to earth kind of in the past couple years. So I'll say like from 2023 into where we're kind of at now. And things have kind of, I won't say they haven't really leveled, but they've got to a point where we can consider it closer to what we were used to prior to all this going on. And like folks are upset and they're stressed and they're prioritizing and they're budgeting. I feel like there's been a very, like, I'm going to say, very recognizable upswell of like the grassroots. I'm talking people like myself making lures in their garages, Like that, hacks videos that I'm not a fan of, but like, finding ways to repurpose things, introducing other people to, the sport, or at least from a hobby perspective. Um, if we're not looking at the content creation side, which is a relevant part of that, and there's the influencer status, right? That we can't ignore that.
Facts.
Um, but I've been one to really try to pay attention to, the grassroots things, the independent, the folks that are doing it for the love of the game, not the love of the fame. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not about, the get rich quick schemes and, scamming folks and all. Like, I mean, that's always going to be around just because people tend to do shit like that. But like, you got some folks, and I think streaming has helped bring a lot of these folks to the forefront where you can watch them and enjoy them and talk and interact, obviously. Best case scenario, right? People that are just in it, they're just in it because they know that that's just part of them and they enjoy it. And I feel like you see those folks that enjoy it and it's pure, it allows all that extra bullshit just not to impact you as much, if that makes sense.
Yep.
It keeps it pure. So what I'm saying is, as a result of the whole pandemic situation and all the shifts, the monumental shifts in the retail marketing side of it, in the consumerism, there's still the folks that stick out that just do it for the love of the game. And having those folks that stick out, and there's such strong contrast to a lot of the consumerism kind of stuff, man, like, you're not going to watch all the videos that come out. You're not going to watch all the streamers that are streaming. But if you find like the one or two folks that like stick out to you and at least give you that motivation to kind of like say, you know what, I wasn't planning on getting out today, but I'm gonna go down to the pond for an hour and just cast around. That hour can save your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can help you kind of, purge some of the frustration and kind of just get you back down to earth level so you can actually focus on some things and go, take care of business, right? So I mean, it becomes, I think post-pandemic, I've learned to value any and everything that I get an opportunity to do, because I know it's very easy to lose that opportunity and or could have had it changed as a result of everything we've been dealing with in the past 5 years. Just boiling it down, man. You're not, like, again, you're not going to own every reel, every rod, every lure. You're just not. And I think, appreciate what the gratitude thing. It's just a perspective, right? Like, you can really go out and spend a bunch of money. You may find stuff that you like, you may not. But I'd rather spend that time that I would be spending, running to the shops to run to the bank. Not literally the bank because I'm broke, but I'm talking like the shore, one of those type of deals. Y'all know what I mean. So it's more, to me at least, it's a perspective, right? Because I could live in a vacuum and not give a shit.
Yep.
And that might be fun. But it's difficult. I watch stuff every day. I make stuff. I'm trying to grow my presence because I don't really get a chance to stream as much as I'd like. So I got to do the stuff that's available for people to watch whenever I have it. I'm still sitting on like hours and hours of footage I need to condense down to the highlights, which means it'll probably be 7 minutes total. Point being, y'all know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be fun. Supposed to be fun.
Supposed to be.
And when you're, dealing with all the extra, stuff going on in the world, in your community, in your own family, it's real easy to lose track of that. And y'all know, or those that know me know, I'll make a joke and crack jokes about anything, and I do. But at the end of the day, it's, even if I'm not going out, even if I don't got a camera running, like, and y'all probably believe this, like, I still talk to myself, like, all the stupid shit y'all hear me say, it's all of that's happening regardless if it's being recorded or not. Like, it's
facts.
Like, that's just it. That's just what it is. Like, I am talking to myself pretty much the entire time. Figure might as well bring y'all along for the ride. So that always has to be there. If that's gone, nothing else matters, nothing else important, and now it's just going through the motions, and there's no point in doing that. Life's too short.
Yeah. You have any regrets from these last 5 years, or the renaissance? We'll call it the renaissance of fishing. Anything you wish you would have done that you didn't? Now that you know of like what this has become in this stretch of 6 years, or we'll say 7 years.
I probably would have ran the boat motor more often so it didn't gum up. True fact. Startron. Anyways, don't sponsor this. So,
Yeah. Oh man.
No, I overdosed my motor on StarTron, so now it's
Like,
getting working.
Startron drunk.
It is what it ain't.
Sent that
But
boy to
no,
the galaxy.
not really. Because I still got young. Oh, I still had a young kid, so like I would have been here regardless. Like, but I think it's more. I don't know. Maybe go more saltwater just because the beach is so close. But it's I don't like jellyfish at all.
Yo,
I really don't like jellyfish. Like, we're not going to talk about this because I don't need my blood pressure to spike this close to bedtime. But
really? I didn't know
I
that.
cannot
That sucks.
stand jellyfish.
Is it a phobia or is it a hate?
No, I don't. I'm not scared of them. I look for them because I want to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, it's a hate. Yep. I'm sorry.
Animosity.
I'm
you know
sorry.
what I'm saying? It's on site. And that's
man.
fine. Y'all don't got to be like me. But yeah. So, anyways, the only thing I would have done different is I'll just beat the piss out of more jellyfish.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
To answer the question, fun is the quickest example would be like when you order a six-piece nugget at the drive-thru and you end up getting 7 pieces in a switchblade.
And a switchblade, bruh.
And a switchblade, so that's fun. Hell yeah.
Damn. But yeah, this is definitely an open topic. I did want the community that's watching, if you guys have stories of what you've noticed as a angler, a consumer of what you see on the water now. Like, if you guys have anything, like, this is what this was made for. I really wanted to engage our viewers more so than just us talking about our stuff. So I would definitely greatly appreciate it if you guys have anything that you would like to share or talk about, and just in the whole aspect of what we have become during the pandemic. If you got some Diddy stories, you can keep those, but I'm talking about just, like this whole 7 years. Close your eyes, Diddy. These 7 years. It's just, I mean, I wouldn't have not, and to say this, I say that prefacing most of the people I've met that are in chat right now, I would have probably not met if I didn't either hop in a kayak, stream on the internet, do tournaments, and these are people that at multiple occasions I've either shook hands, given a hug, like stayed in houses with. Like, you guys and gals are a reason for this, and the pandemic definitely created this. T getting attacked by that fly on this stream right now would not happen if we didn't have the pandemic and us being on Twitch fishing. Like, I don't know. It's kind of magical, but yeah, it's really dope.
Damn mosquito, it ain't magical.
No, what I saw was a fly. You're fighting two insects at this point, so pick which one you want to kill first and try to get it out, because a 2v1 fighting for two fronts don't work out for the person in the middle.
Brother, it's been an uphill battle my whole life.
Well, this ain't gonna be up a hill. This is in flight. At least you got your safety glasses on.
We'll put some damn diabolical grease on that ass.
It's electric.
There it is. Hell yeah.
You got that dielectric. Gonna smear it on a fly and watch it suffer. Just don't do it on the camera. I do not want to fight those people. Yo, what's up, Fro? Welcome everybody on the raid. Welcome. Thank you so much for that raid. Welcome, Raiders. Hello, everybody. T out here. T, you know you ain't gonna hit shit with that. What's Buddy from Signs? Swing. Well, what did he tell him? Yeet that thing. T, you ain't hitting no flying insect
It's
with
about sending a message.
Yo, that, I don't know if I was an insect flying around, so you pick up a slim stick. I'm sitting there like, boy, ain't hitting nothing. Turning to Luke Skywalker going after the Death Star.
I was watching I was watching Sammy Sosa highlights, so I'm ready to swing.
Like young Sammy Sosa when he looked crazy
No
dangerous.
steroids era Sammy
Oh
Sosa,
yeah, that's the
like the
diabolical
Mark
era.
McGuire, Sammy
Mark
Sosa
McCoy
stuff.
stuff, bro. That shit was fire. The roids
No,
created an era.
human growth hormone.
No, those boys they were not natural, and they knew it. And MLB said, "Nah, don't test them. Let them keep hitting them home runs."
Saying compare ratings back then to now.
Yep, yep. I wonder what made them say, you know what, this home run thing, you guys got to stop this. So get off the roids. I wonder what was the turning factor. Who slipped up?
The kids started trying to emulate their heroes,
Started catching them in the locker room with syringes coming out their butts.
among other places.
Hey yo.
Let's see. Well, Smallwater Cousins got a point. So the fishermen who started during the pandemic, a lot of are probably still continuing, right?
Yeah.
So like, a lot of folks picked it up, just kind of on a whim, maybe. And I think if we're looking, I mean, we don't have stats, so we're not going to talk specifics, but it's very likely, probably more than half, are still with it to some extent.
At some point, yes, it definitely. I've definitely seen a lot of anglers that didn't know what they were doing pandemic side locally, and I will run into them, and they are leagues up there, and they have a wholehearted idea of what they're doing. Probably one of the craziest stories locally here was I forgot. I'm not even gonna give his name out, but he hopped on NC Fishing and said, "Hey, I want to learn how." Fresh from the Middle East, just came in. He was doing a local job and decided to stay. Got married, brought his family, a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But just acts on their probably 2019, 2020. Hey, I'm trying to learn how to bass fish. It looks like it's fun. I don't have a boat. Would somebody take me out on a boat? 5 years later, my man entered his first BFL in his own boat and placed in the top 25 on a local BFL. Like,
Thank you, Live Sonar.
I don't even think I don't think he scopes. He might scope. I haven't seen like his latest look on his boat, but I just know from seeing him fishing a pier in 2019, 2020 to seeing his post on like NC bass fishing of him fishing, and it was a full circle. He came back and said thank you. Like, it wasn't like it was, yeah, I'm just gonna go fish. Like, my man has been posting on there and thanking every opportunity he gets on the water. Like, it's a super awesome thing to see. Like, when the community kind of like does that. I thought that was also really cool. But yeah, going to what Small Award was saying, I've seen, and on the other side, I've seen people who've gotten to, especially on the kayak side, when they buy their kayak and they'll probably be out there for maybe a month or two, and then they're like, yeah, no, I'm selling it. I've worked with somebody, I helped him get a kayak, and then I've seen him also like just stop kayak fishing. So I can say in both terms, I've seen both sides of that. But I think the fizzle outs are way less than the people who have been gung ho since 2020 during this air quote renaissance of pandemic fishing. I rarely see too many people drop out. Them fish are getting pressured with every lure imaginable, from the bank, from the kayak, from the boat, from homeboy throwing the fishing net out there, old boy throwing the 28 pound mono for catfish with a 12-ounce sinker. Like, all the fish are catching it.
Here's what's doing it. This shit right here.
I've never seen it. I can only see that. I've never seen
it in the wild.
I've never seen it. Man. I am 37 years old. I have never seen I've never seen the Guggen reel. I've never seen the Guggen reeling. I have never seen it.
No. Well, see, here's the thing, right? Somebody's going to see that. I'm like, oh, T's talking shit. No, because when I see it, and I let them have their fun. Because if that's what somebody's doing and they're having fun, who the hell am I to say it's wrong, right? So if I've also seen people doing it and get frustrated, and I've offered politely to say, hey, like, do you mind if I kind of show you what that's made to do, just so you're aware? And I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods for a summer a while back when I was in college. And I'd have people coming in and they're looking to buy a combo and they're doing that shit. And I would, for the sake of not wanting them to spend the money on something they may not know what they're doing, I'm like, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not made to do that. Can I show you something real quick? And everybody was cool with it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's on
that don't
point.
mean they could have easily walked out that bitch, cussed me out, and said fuck it, and started just hauling that bitch in backwards, and that's fine. It don't bother me none. It don't change, it don't change my life. And if they have fun, who gives a shit what I think? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But like, it helps, especially those folks that are coming into the game. You want them to enjoy it for the most part, right? So It's like you increase your chances of enjoying it if things are kind of being used to their intent. I mean, and what they're designed for. Don't get me wrong. Like and y'all have seen it. Like I found some weird shit in trees that people had snagged up, and I'm looking at it like, what the hell were they thinking? And then I also have that kind of follow-up by like, well, they don't know. They're learning. So, I'm almost kind of glad they snagged this, because now they're going to go back to their box and say, I ain't doing that no more, let me find something else.
Facts.
And that can absolutely propel them into a point of finding something that they enjoy, and especially if folks want to break off some whopper ploppers. I ain't got no problem taking them out and catching with them the same trip, dog. I'm gonna do it. Hell yeah, them things ain't cheap.
My man took 14 out the tree and got a fish on it. That is what it's about.
Putting them in the boat, man. We catching, dog. Yep.
The donkey rig.
I mean, shoot, I've done it, man. I seriously have stuff I found in the tree that I would have never bought, and I'm using them, I'm throwing them, I'm catching on them, and it's all good. And I broke off stuff somebody might have found.
Yep.
And got tetanus from. But the point being is, like, you just kind of happen into stuff. I mean, I think it's neat. It keeps it entertaining, especially for, like, if anything, like, I almost kind of wish like I could just erase some of that off of brainstem. You know what I'm talking about? Like, hit the Men in Black memory light thing and kind of just like get to discover stuff from like brand new.
I got you.
And not be jaded and not be biased.
Yep.
Like,
not have a precondition or towards the thought process. Yeah, you definitely would like a neuralizer to get that first ecstasy hit again.
Yeah, that's why I drank Spike It, but I'm still remembering. And I don't think tomorrow's first movement of the day is going to be very fun. I'll go ahead and leave it at that.
It's going to be bright and garlicky.
Freaking wastewater management's going to call me like, yo, what the fuck did you flush? Hell no. Like, I don't know, dog. Bring it back in a bucket. I'll take a peek.
Oh man. Segueing from that.
How do you stay away from that?
No, not the pooping part.
Oh.
I find myself looking at, like, I've looked at more gear in this time than I've ever looked at gear, like fishing tackle, line, baits, especially like imports, like just keeping those and understanding like all of those techniques and practices and mentality, the cultural. I can't say mentalities. What am I looking for? Just say cultural techniques and things that I've never even desired to look for before. Like, I can tell you in 2018, 2019, all I needed was a Texas rig, a chatterbait, and a whopper plopper. I'm going to catch something. Now, when I go out, I have to have minnow. I have to have some type of free rig or drop shot. It's like, yeah, I've definitely become bougie on a lot of the thought process of the simplisticness of catching that fish has definitely changed for me. I guess yeah, that still makes me a fishmonger, like a fish content monger. Yeah. So yeah, that's also something I wanted to add. What I've become, add into the list of things.
A lot of yeah, I do a lot of window shopping. I mean, I'm still kind of on track. I haven't bought any rods or reels this year. Bought a couple spools of line. I replaced the lure that I lost. Um, but I'm like in June and I haven't had like a big ass box show up in the mail. We've done some lure swaps. I've mailed some stuff. I've got some stuff mailed to me from like, independent folks, but that's more just exchange of stuff. And
I set up a wall of stuff in the last like 2 weeks. I wanted to show that
You're
up.
gonna be. Oh man, you might as well just start get the ceiling ones going because the ceiling ones are the next step.
Yeah, mine as well.
Ceiling spots.
I got
God.
space. I definitely got space. Proud of myself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, prices are. It still sucks for going out. Like, you get the holiday sale, the summer sales, so the Father's Day sales, the 4th of July sales, all those kind of things will be kicking off. But I mean, either from various things that are going on in the world of capitalism and free trade markets and all that kind of stuff. It's like right now. I mean, if anything, too, being able to kind of erase the memory bank, so to speak, like coming into the game when there's so many garage sales. So like, hey, Brazalo. So have you read about Brazalo? It was on Bassmaster.com.
You talk about turning a buzzbait into a freaking business, dude.
My dude went from like he's had like 5,000 orders in a weekend after Slapper got in that win, and they took a picture and put that damn Bushwhacker Pro on the webpage, and just straight some dude chilling in Arkansas. It was him and like one other dude and some volunteers that would put together some baits, mainly like wired baits, things. And this dude cannot keep up with supply. Like there's shops that want to stock it, it's just like
he can't.
I mean, that's all it takes is a little bit of exposure, and the people want that next best thing. They want the trend. I mean, and I got gifted one of his weed whackers from me, Mike, and I love the thing. Like, I mean, I haven't gone and ordered more stuff, but from what I've seen, which is just the one lure that I have, it's good stuff, and they're cranking them out in a little warehouse. I was reading the interview. It sounds like he's trying to
he's expand
upsize.
Yeah, he's already talked about expanding.
Shop, man. Like you got to get more employees. You got to get more equipment. You got to, the business side of things, man. It's just a dude that. Apparently he was like a manager of some type of, I forget what he was managing, but something, and apparently he was like, I think I want to make baits full time, and just committed to it.
Yep.
And like he's probably maximum like sales records. The dude that does battle baits, I'm a fan of battle baits. It's a guy somewhere out in Missouri that just makes stuff in his garage, pretty much the same type. It's just him. It's not even other people. It's really just him. And I found some of his lures and love them, and then he came out with a couple things that ended up getting a lot of trade show attention. And I was just looking at the website yesterday. He's like, look, the best thing to do is to click the thing that says email me when they're back in stock, because that's the quickest way to know when it's back in stock. And just like, so you got these dudes that are churning stuff out in small operations, and they're going like they're sending stuff everywhere.
Stores and the people want it, and that's always good. Those are great stories. Until a big brand comes and buys them out and starts firing people and turning their quality into garbage. But yeah, investors, that's what they do.
Well, until then, yeah, I mean, this is the time to support them, right? Like this is really the time to get the stuff, because I got some stuff like from the battle baits guy. He doesn't make anymore. Yeah. Now I'm like, shit, and I don't want to be like snagging this 30 feet up in a pine tree because you can't get anymore.
Yep. There's no way you can. You can be replaced. That thing has to sit there in the collection forever in the rafters.
Well, that and like big swim baits, that has absolutely been a thing. I mean, like, and that's a whole different subculture. Like, I don't even like, if I went to the freaking gathering, swim bait underground, swim bait universe, whatever the gathering, I probably would get punched. Like, who is this dude? Get out of here! Go fishing that rig. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that it's its own little.
Yeah, it's a
thing,
very
man.
it's a very small. It's a niche. It's a niche within a niche. But yeah, I wouldn't have known about Brazala lures if it wasn't for one of the swim bait guys who was throwing their buzz baits. But he also bigged it up. I think he came in second for a Bassmaster Kayak tournament, and I met him through the Brian Latimer tournament. Joe, if you out there, I will definitely say you're probably the first person that I've heard anybody talk about the Brazala lures. I mean, he's pretty close to that shop. You ain't get him. I ain't even hear it. I ain't hear contact. You ain't get him. You probably got the mosquito, but you ain't get the fly.